Unfortunately, not as good setup as that fan. But
a setup.
you know, 3 days to prepare. Congratulations, you made it fun.
Wasn't too tough.
What?
This crowd's been very funny, Kyle. Very funny.
Funny look. No, I ain't gonna do it. Let's get into the game, folks.
Hell yeah, that's what we want. We want to see Gambit versus TNC. We want the gloves to come off, potentially force a game 5, but TNC, they got a lot to work with here. They've got some of my favorites. Enigma's already up, and big team fight on their side with the Enigma. Yeah, TNC still the favorites on the numbers.
Yeah, they changed it up a bit. This time, Tim's going boots first instead of gloves of haste. So slower item progression, but I expect this means he'll be either aggro jungling or just looking to get more involved in the lane.
30 seconds.
Surprising that they picked a lifestealer into Enigma. Definitely the hard counter, and you can see they're actually going to try and rotate out of this lane. You do not want lifestealer in this scenario.
But it does feel kind of okay at the same time. Like, I feel there's a lot of counter to it. If you get it through the Winter Wyvern, you can't just push with the conversions. You've got that ultimate that's able to pierce immunity, able to get a good curse off. Even early on, you've got ships, you've got arrows, you've got Lina stuns. There's always this arsenal of Gambit I feel good with when they have it. And to the point of the panel for the laning phase, where they were uncertain if laning phase will go well, I want to put the pressure actually a little bit onto XS Vampire. Like, I kind of feel like he's been like one of the big superstars of Gambit throughout the group stage, and I've really been waiting for him to shine during this grand final. And if he's got a game to do it on this Mirana, this is it.
I'd have to agree with you there. It's going to require a very high degree of execution. GPK is going to have to go off. Last pick, Lina. Not your traditional 22 pick in the sense that, you know, it's a Lina standard. We've seen this hero before. Not exactly the win condition, but it can go off.
Wonder if anyone's going to remember that bottom bounty rune still in play. Nice arrow from Vampire up on the top. Connects into Gabby. That's a lot of early damage. Gabby trying to retreat back out again. He's already so heavily slowed. Gambit getting aggressive, and Gabby does not have the life to survive. Even with the Undying against a tri-lane, you cannot stop that level of damage. Maybe once you got some soul rips up and play it a little like Fada.
And bottom lane's going to be a pure 1v1. Shacklow versus KP. Definitely Legion Commander favored. You just trade way more efficiently thanks to the heal of your W and the Moment of Courage procs. Top lane, this tri-lane, is the way you want to play it if you're Gambit. But you actually see Enigma's rotating top to deny creeps. All you want to do is make sure Dream's game is as rough as possible.
And maybe this is when Gambit have to start thinking about changing up their own lanes. Like, are you happy to accept the status quo, leaving KP, Legion versus Sharslow's Kunkka? Damn much, you've got a lot of damage. You dodged the arrow before, maybe that was the confidence to move forward. Not to mention the fact he had 8-0 life. But it can still go down to 0.
It's all good. You're going to get lane control now, thanks to Tim's rotation. But FNG's aware. He's going to do his best to block camps, ensure that this sort of play isn't going to be effective. Once again, body blocking the easy camp.
So many clarities you can just afford and keep this up. Like, Enigma doesn't get that much out of the jungle ever since the jungle got totally nerfed. It's just more of a nuisance, as he said, to the lane, stopping Dream from getting a good momentum on the lifestealer. And his CS isn't really, like, reflecting it yet. He got one of the kills on this top lane. How's that mid looking? 9-6 to the 8-2, so Lina feels like GPK is off to a decent start for the moment. And harassing again into March, open wounds as well. He's got that soul rip, arrow. Ah, the creep gets in the way. So March will be able to back up to the tower.
Really nice juke. As long as you don't catch the arrow, you should be fine.
Especially when he's up now. There's 16 decay strength stolen. 1,000 flat is the HP for Undying.
Mid lane, GPK playing really aggressive on Armel. Gonna catch the stun on him.
Oh. Armel's coming back down towards the tower, and with the Mango, Light Strike Array still on cooldown, so he can't get the secondary stun. And Odie doesn't have a salve, like he's just bought one. The courier will have to do the long trek. So he just had to do this slowly with tangos.
He's looking for the stun. You gotta be careful, Armel, man. I think you're dead if you catch a stun.
He's up the hill, copping harassment at least. GPK, you know he can feel it. Like he's baiting out the animation. He does like if he mangoes, and he can go for it. March, leap forward. That's a close range arrow, however, so not long enough stun for FNG to get damage in. Love how Gabby walks over slightly to give him an extra soul rib.
Nice little juke to the left by March there to ensure he got the creep wave unit count. But do keep in mind, this is a jungler for
now it's
TNC.
GPK who may be in trouble. Mel back up to 4 life. GPK is on the run out of here. Thinks about standing his ground. He's got the salve available. Oh wow, he's actually gonna have that have that cancel. Misses the light strike array. Courier will bring in bottle charges, so maybe doesn't feel so bad about it, but did he just try and bait Mel with a salve?
Well, he knew the bottle was coming too, so if Armel tried to get aggressive there, he would have been able to turn it easily. He had a Fairy Fire in the bag as well. Bottom is the real rune, so he's gonna grab a DD in a moment. That's quite nice for GPK.
Small victory up on top. One of the fresh wards. FNG was able to de-ward it with a sentry. So there's less protection of vision for Tims. And Vampire's already keeping an eye on it. He's moved himself around inside the jungle, keeping very close eyes on what Tims is up to. Gabby playing very well back in the lane now with the creep wave.
Yeah. Bottom though, KP already level 5. Continuing to out CS Shackler just a bit now that Harass comes in. Once he gets duel, any sort of rotation might be able to land a kill on the Kunkka. One of the heroes a few of the players are asking for nerfs from the Frog in the next patch. Can understand why. Too much team fight, tons of splash damage. A lot of mid-game potential in this Gambit lineup. Wyvern, Kunkka, especially effective against the Enigma.
5-minute rune battle. Gabby trying to run himself away from this one. Vampire's up on the hill. March is dropping the sentry ward. One quick leap away. And he drops the obs as well. More protection for this jungle area. So important for TNC's top lane. And Tims moves to the bottom lane. Sharshlo in trouble. He was inside the Midnight Pulse. That helps with the damage output from KP as well. The 3 points impress the attack. And he just goes at him. That's actually 1 point only in Midnight Pulse, no stun.
Nice move by Tims. Catapult wave. Enigma, let me pop my mana conversion and immediately start pushing.
Oh, GPK, he's got Dragon Slave up. He'll avoid the arrow, but the Slave, he dies. You'll pop back out of the OD. Vampire even coming in closer. He took damage from that.
Yeah, be careful. Down bottom, Kunkka not level 6, so doesn't have the tools to defend this tower just yet. KP might look to hunt him.
Mirana doesn't have enough life as well to really help this out because he took the damage from the imprisonment. Sharshlo is just trying to slow down the pressure, but they'll need more help than this. The arrow flies and actually gets the catapult at the back, so the push into the tower, now negligible. And Sharshlo's looking for the right line just to cleave and takes the big ones out. But of course, you got the Legion Commander in for the duel. Winter Wyvern's on the way in. No cold embrace, but the X marks spot. They want to pull KP back in underneath the tower. They'll get the combination, and KP turned it up and brought down Gambit. We talked about their laning phase, how strong it has to be. They're showing movement across the map. The net worth advantage still in favor of TNC, even though the kill count says 4-1.
All the little details. Arrow the catapult, slow down the push. Wyvern TP's in as he sees the duel. Shacklo getting level 6 off the creeps, even killing off all the Eidolons for the bonus, 150 gold. Really nice. Gabby under-leveled up top, only level 4, so this nighttime not really being able to be utilized. He's CSing okay, but Dream definitely happy with his game thus far. As the Glove of Haste and Phase, now saving up for the Midas. Armel, the one who's truly suffering, forced into the jungle.
Yeah, and he does not like this at all. Even if the CS did look good for a while, now he's sitting at 2.3k to the 2.7, 2.8k of Lina. The net worth disparity will increase, especially when he has to take jungle creeps. And Lina's so adept at just cleaning up waves quickly, so the pressure into the tier 1 tower forces rotation. So this timing of Armel being in the jungle can really hurt, especially when Vampire is actually underneath a Radiant Obs ward. So they see him move, if anyone comes in, the Obs ward's already been planted down, so he can actually play, and March is the one to arrive. They just need that first stun to connect. And it won't. Vampire, arrow goes flying, and the Light Strike Array both go flying, undying.
Is under attack.
Got the moves.
And so does Tims. Got Arcanes up, going for a build he hasn't yet used in this tournament. Looks like an Arcanes into Mech Rush. Won't scale as well as with the Midas. Don't have that same pushing power as you do with the HOD, but it is a different kind of game. You're trying to stack sustains here. You've got the defensive banish, multiple heals from the Undying and the LC on top of it, so maybe looking to team fight a bit earlier on.
Tims with his haste rune is just having some fun. Lina just wants to farm. Tims just wants to be a nuisance. And he'll haste rune himself up to the top lane now.
Another slow-paced game.
Oh, for the moment.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
Beast Coast and Alliance obviously no longer in this tournament. It would have been interesting to see what kind of pace they would have played with against either one of these squads.
And just Beast Coast TNC, Beast Coast, actually Beast Coast anyone, I'll take that. Well, Tim's no longer having that movement speed, but he's got friends. Gabby's going to be nearby. FNG may have to cold embrace. He'll get himself down the hill, but still wants to fight with a Splinter Blast. He can try and kill off some of these creeps, and Kunkka, he's arrived for the fight. The X-Mark Torrent ship combo, they'll throw everything into this Enigma. Even though it does bring in the rotation of the Kunkka, which frees up KP on the bottom lane. It's rewarded with a kill on the support Enigma. The March is on bottom lane too. Did they just give up the tier 1 tower for that kill on a support?
I think you might have to. KP just way too strong. In reality, kind of a nice move from Tim's there. Buys a lot of space. Sure, you go down, but you force the boat and you open up space bottom so that KP can pressure this tower.
And then Tim's joins in bottom. Take that last creep out. The Lena's already burnt her TP, so she couldn't go to bottom lane either, and Lifestealer definitely doesn't want to move. He's just about to finish up his Hand of Midas.
Yeah, and Gabby's such a strong target underneath the tower. You don't really want to dive him. Phase Boots 1000 HP and a ton of move speed. You know he's got Dark Ascension available as well, so he could easily just ult and fly over the tree line.
But with this movement, you do ensure it'll be a 2-2 trade-off on the bounty runes. No way TNC will try and compete for that top lane, and same thing for Gambit on the bottom. But a regeneration room for the OD, that'll be nice. If only he had a bottle. So tier 1 trade. Everyone accepts the status quo.
Another very peaceful game.
And look how much that Dire Courier is carrying. Just helps deliver in the ground, but now down with the double tomes. Tim's buckler, the full hood for KP.
Might as well check out the warding. Some aggressive wards placed by Radiant and Tyre. 7 on the map at the moment.
They're about to time out, so a lot of that vision's going to disappear. KP's looking to the bottom lane. Tim's moves in, FNG. Time to take to the tree line. Up he goes. And Midnight Pulse cutting off the trees. Which way do you want to go? KP looking for the target, trying to get the duel, but he can't keep the vision up. FNG making most of the fact that he is a flight creature. I was going to say bird, but bird doesn't really do justice for the dragon he is.
Mid push though, hang on. Shacklow's got boat next ready, but KP with that hood is a very tough target. They're going to go for him anyway.
Yep, pull him in. March, can you help out? The boat's going to be able to connect. Torrent to follow up with Light Strike Array. A lot of damage not really being done as March gave him a soul rip. That's level 3. A lot more life into KP. And GPK, even with the burst damage, is not enough to get through the hood.
Double ultimate, but too many heals. Doesn't matter. This is the benefit of the TNC lineup. Part of why KP went for this defensive item selection. And Gabby's just going to rush the Ags. We've seen this before from him when he plays this carry Night Stalker. But
yeah, he's cursing. He's going to try and create a little bit of extra space. GPK's moving over. Mirana's arrived as well. Arrow trying to play from the trees. The Midnight Pulse clears up a little bit of the area, but X marks a spot, pulls him into the Arrow. So then you can follow up with your later combinations of GPK. Mech was purchased, so Enigma doesn't lose much gold. But it's still Gambit, chalking up more kills. And Dream having all the space on the top lane. This time around, you won't see Gambit falling behind in the level.
Oh, OD, is he clearing Ancients right now? Is that a thing? Oh, that's cool. So yeah, when you pop Tomb, it's very easy actually to do this. Of course, the orb now providing AoE damage. March, oh my god, has to pop a smoker. He was dead for sure.
They pinged. Radiant pinged this out. I was like, guys, this is not right.
It's another nice maneuver here from TNC. They did this with the TA. Very good at abusing these ancient stacks. You only get the 1 nowadays. Used to be 2, of course, before they removed that. By far the most value in terms of like HP that you need to go for the gold and XP rewarded. Especially when it's stacked, a Veil up as well on Armel. All about the damage amplification and the sustained stacking.
Here we go again. X-Mark, Ship, Torrent combination onto KP. Now the follow-up Arrow. Timing it in beautifully, but you've still got the soul rip from March to give more life back in KP. You took off half of his life for this?
Not even.
And they even keep just chain stunning him up. They need a lot more physical damage to get through KP. They need, like, do you start actually building, thinking like, I don't want to say Daedalus into Lena, but something along these lines.
Yeah, I like what TNC have done. This is how you play it. If you're going to get this hood item up on KP, sure, it limits your ability to farm creep waves, but plant yourself on the objective. He's just standing in front of mid tower. Rest of his squad, all 4 heroes, split up around the map, farming different locations. And he can just freely run into the river even for an archer last hit. Just keep the tower alive. Gambit had 3 heroes there. Nothing doing, really. Armel, no intention of rejoining. He's got 1800 health as well. Really tanky item build. Double Bracer, Treads Veil. The whole lineup, and it makes sense, right? If you're going to have all these heals and this massive sustain and save, stack the HP. Don't let anybody get 100 to 0, because if you survive, you're going to most likely end up healed to full, just because of how well TNC's lineup acts behind you. Blink Dagger next up on Tim's. Maybe that's an opportunity for them to get aggressive. No real initiation on this team.
It's a great thing to point out too, just the fact that like Gambit have no follow-up once they're blown their initial combination.
Yeah.
So once that's gone, Gambit have to go into full retreat, and their lineup doesn't really lead towards that. Sharshlo is throwing the combination over on March. He's not really looking for the fight. He's been taking this the 2 camp farms, just using Tidebringer to hit up the hill and clear it up, reducing the farm area of Odie, who just goes straight back down to Ancients again. Yeah, he's now #1 on the net worth just thanks to doing this.
The big timing for TNC is going to be this Ags on Night Stalker. All of a sudden, they've got massive amounts of AoE damage. They'll have a blink on somebody, and they can look to get aggressive. Lifestealer needs that second or third item after Radiance to come online.
A Moonlight Shadow became underneath the Sentry Ward. X marks the spot is out. KP is just here for the 15-minute bounty runes. X marked and turned it up. Tim's waiting in the tree lines. The curse is out, but Tim's has to play the distance game. Gambit is looking for their own wards. Looks like March will TP out at the top. Sorry, runes. It'll be a 3-for-1 trade-off.
This is really smart from KP. As always, just continuously using his body to force Gambit to waste their spells on him. Nobody else on his team ever threatened, so long as he's the one most far forwards. Another timely arrow on a catapult. X-Vampire doing a good job of that throughout the game.
Stopping the push into the tier 1 towers. Obviously, they couldn't stop bottom lane, but the mid tier 1 towers take a negligible damage. And it's the same for the top lane. I actually don't think Dream has been contested in any way, shape, or form, and it kind of makes me beg the question. OD, not that great up against the Lifestealer as long as Rage is up, but how do you actually feel Dream, how do you see Dream playing in this game? And you going for the Radiance build? Can he stand in the middle of the fight? Who's his targets?
It's a good question. It's a tough game. You got to avoid Tim's or kill him. So I'd say he's probably your most wanted.
And it feels like FNG kind of has that task. It's like, okay, just get this guy to a point where maybe you can afford a Blink Dagger, and then Tim's won't be able to do what he wants. Like, Tim's is a mech into Blink, so he might get the initiation, but it won't last long.
You definitely have the superior counter initiation on the side of Gambit, just thanks to the boat and the Winner's Curse. But TNC, they have so much lockdown, and they're going to once again have that vision advantage, right? High ground tombstones, Eidolon, scouting, Night Stalker fluttering over the tree line. That's the big edge for them. And yeah, sure, Gambit can take these fights, but it's going to be very difficult for FNG to properly position.
So many friends coming to bottom lane. KP, he's very, very close. And Gambit had 3 heroes who were posturing. They were baiting with Gabby for this fight. It actually has to feel like the most, like, maybe this is just also the way, like, you play a 1-position Night Stalker, but a no-kill Night Stalker 17 minutes into the game, it doesn't feel like the Night Stalkers we've had in this tournament.
Yeah, that's for now, though, Toby. As soon as he gets the Aghanim Scepter, that's when it's time to go. He's only 1,000 gold away.
They're all smoked up, but you drop an Observe one under an Obs and Sentry of the Dire side, and that reveals the fact you're there. Everyone from TNC, or at least this trio of TNC, come to defend the mid lane.
Ags is up now, though, Toby. It's on the courier. TNC, once they pick up this item, then they can really get aggressive. So much damage all of a sudden offered. Yul's aggro.
Torrent, you don't have the arrow available, however. It's already been thrown out. It threaded the entire creep wave.
And how do you make that move, right? KP's there. Even if you hit the arrow, he's going to immediately pop that heal, take it away. March is behind him with a Tombstone and Soul Rip ready. Tim's now looking to perhaps set up on Dream, who's been playing alone top this entire game, but he's not threatened by anything other than the Enigma. Nobody else, except for perhaps a duel, could interrupt a Rage TP, but there's just no real damage output from TNC yet. Now here comes the move, though. Gabby bottom.
They're hiding inside the fog of Roshan. Gabby is being, well, down there to Vampire. Void comes off cooldown a fraction of a second too late, so the TP from Mirana will be successful.
It's the line being drawn. They pivot. Oh, that's a cutback. That
Sentry from FNG, it caught a glimpse of the Legion. Now he'll get rid of the Obs. And then the duel is out. Lina needs to help out, but no. Ivan is most definitely dead. Armel will claim that kill. And the duel victory goes to Legion Commander. Now sitting at plus 18, and what they do, instantly attack into the tier 1 tower. That's to fortify just because KP's attacking it.
Yep. Medallion now coming towards KP, all in on the sustain items.
Again. He's only got one more leap and a 4-star. 4-star can bring him back down. But with the X-Mark spot, both being used, and the Torrent as well. Arrow and Torrent not perfectly synced together. Really didn't feel like they were going to have that.
Look how
Night Stalker.
These cores are just so tanky on TNC though. 1980 HP on the OD, Night Stalker at 1935, LC 1760, plus a pipe.
Coming in. They need to be able to get a Winter's Curse. You can be tanky as you want. Radiance is done for the lifesteal, so he's willing to come into the fight. Legion Commander set up in the air. The arrow flies forward. The 4-star just means an extra 1 second over on the stun. Defensive imprisonment from Armel. Resets the fight up. You're still trying to bring down the Tombstone. Undying saves the Soul Rip for that one. Mirana gets attacked in by Gabby. The Curse, it's going to be good.
Ooh.
KP's being brought down. They need more damage, but Tim's gives the mech. KP gets more life, but it still won't be enough. X marks a spawn. Are you going to bring him back in? Gabby, is there a ship? Is there a torrent? There's an arrow from Vampire. Able to connect on to Gabby, trying to keep him out this fight. While March on the front line, the torrent brings down the Night Stalker. They turn their attention towards March. And with Radiance up, Gambit feel good.
Really nice spacing from Gambit there. Dream made sure he was never near enemy allied heroes. So Tim's, he was waiting in the wings. He was ready to go with the blink ult prepared, but he just can't turn it around. Gambit very nicely space out their spell usage, finding kill after kill, the X into arrow combination. A lot easier to execute much earlier in the game than that Melt Strike bash into it as we saw previously.
And 4 bounty runes get to go the way of Gambit for the 20-minute mark. Even an arcane rune for the Kunkka to sweeten the deal. A new move from just having a Radiance on the Lifestealer. He's going to hit level 15, working his way in towards the Yasha. The item progression speed now moves faster for Gambit because of this fight and the space they create from it.
And again, it's that same concern with TNC in this lineup where the playmaking ability, right? You've got the Ags on Night Stalker, but because KP doesn't get a blink, OD doesn't get a blink, you know, you're not looking to initiate as the Enigma. You're a counter initiator. You need that opportunity. And it's just near impossible thus far to get on top of FNG. He's done such a great job setting up kills with a Winter's Curse.
They're coming for a fight. Smoked up. Gambit. Observers and sentries freshly down from March. A fresh observer being planted, but it's in range of the Obs and Sentry again. Oh, this is just, it's a little harsh for Gambit. They at least get rid of the Sentry Ward. But they're wanting to fight. A full pipe with the Vlads on the Kunkka. Sustainability is the name of that game. I'm going to have a quick look at this mid. The arrow starting it off.
So it starts with the arrow, a defensive disrupt from Armel, but this is a 5-on-4. Lifestealer's closing the distance right now. Tim's is going to get here late. All these spells being utilized. KP not able to move the entire fight, but hang on, we got an engagement down bottom.
Yep, the Moonlight Shadow being popped. Gambit just trying to get a little bit further away. The Sentry battle comes once again, so March will get rid of that vision and everything will start to chill out.
He's got a BKB up on GPK now.
It still doesn't look like Gambit wants to fight. Like, you got 4 heroes in the bottom bringing attention, but Lifesteal's playing like the Alchemist we've seen. He's just so far away from this fight.
But there's no reason not to. You've recognized the status quo, right? TNC, they've all in on these mid-game teamfight items. They want to fight. They're ready for you to run at them. He's just going to keep accelerating, even going for the Manta to... This is the Alchemist build, right?
Yeah, it is. Radiance into the Manta. Does it function though, like a late game Lifestealer against this TNC? Like, they went all in for the fight, but does their late game still start to stack up? I've seen ODs get stronger and stronger as the game goes on. Legion Commander, as long as she can get duels, can also scale. I don't know about everybody else, maybe not so much with the Night Stalker, but
to find duels, you got to find kills, Toby. It's 9-2, and TNC, they're not leaving their side of the map right now, but it's not the same as the previous game. They don't have the Naga TA this time. They're not exactly the squad that's going to outscale. I love the carry Night Stalker, but you know, with no Midas, 0-2-0 on Gabby right now, you're a non-factor. And I mean, watch him farm. There's no real speed to it. Although I guess the AoE Void does certainly help that, but Dream now top. He's going to look to press the tier 2 as the rest of Gambit close in on the tower. This should almost certainly go down without a fight.
Yeah, TNC is not in position. They don't have vision established. The sentries are down for Gambit. They have an Obs and 2 sentries on the Wyvern, ready to establish that new control. What does March do? He just walks into Shashlo, throws down his own sentry ward, X marks spot. They're throwing everything they've got at this Undying. The Tombstone's on the hillside, thanks to the Observe Ward from FNG. They can see that, and Vampire and FNG, that is their primary focus. Soul Rip from March. He's making it difficult with the open wounds from Dream and another X marks spot. This cooldown is just so easy. Dream will get the kill on March. He didn't even have to pause swipe him, he just burnt him with the Radiance. So no tombstone, and the tier 2 tower becomes the next focus.
6K gold lead for Gambit, 10-2, and it's a repeat of that second game, Toby. If you're gonna let Gambit can fight, and TNC have no intention of doing so, once again on the back foot. And I don't really have any answers for them either. All their net worth is mostly on this OD. He'll have a BKB finish soon, but they're still, again, just having issues finding any kind of initiation. Ex-Vampire and FNG, they have no pressure on them whatsoever. It's so easy for them to play these team fights. Gabby has got to be the one to find them out, but until he has BKB, he's very susceptible to just being X'd up, as we've seen time and time again from Shacklow. So easy to find those kills.
Yep. Just such a crazy cooldown you get to have on this ability. Like, you start the fight with it, and you get to end the fight with it. Cooldown timer of 10 seconds only.
Yep.
And they look towards Roshan. At least Shashlo wants to get bashed by Roshan.
Yep. And GBK, he's going the scaling build on Lina. No Ags here.
It is actually the Daedalus. I was wondering if he'd do this after the early damage he realized he couldn't put into KP. And he does. It's BKB, yours, and now into Daedalus.
I mean, you see how much magic resist the enemy side has already. They've got a ton of sustain. You don't want to all in on your burst potential. The beauty of Lina is that you're a mixed damage core. If you itemize for this right-click damage, you become a hard carry. And it ensures that as this game continues, Gambit will actually get further ahead. Runes up.
Going to high ground Tombstone once again. This for the 25-minute bounty runes. KP's taking the top ones in the meantime. A nice use of the torrent to help just clean up the observer ward that was on the hill.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
And they'll take care of the Tombstone as well, as Ex-Vampire very willing to always leap into danger for his team.
Nice, like this. Easy port back for GPK, full bottle, full mana, and he picks up the Crystallis plus the Daedalus recipe. He's just all in for the item choice, and I like it. Look at the net worth lead. Gambit, it's a repeat of the previous game, but obviously TNC were the ones winning that one, where it's just a slow march to victory. They get this lead, they start taking down towers, growing more items. Eventually they can look to Roche, but for now, just take free structures.
It feels stronger though for Gambit to go high ground. Like, yeah, you're taking free structures, you look towards the Roshan, but you don't have like that huge echo slam that you can be worried about. Your counters against the black hole, which is probably the scary equivalent thing, are already online. You've got that long range Winter's Curse, thanks to the Aether Lens over on the Wyvern, but they're gonna try and fight TNC.
They're just forced back to base because they got to defend. They had no glyphs, so you've got to make sure that Gambit don't sit up on your high ground, start killing your tier 3. And they actually even save their tier 1 top. The entire Gambit lineup rotating, and now maybe gonna hunt into the enemy jungle. We got BKB on Gabby. He needs a Blink Dagger. Perhaps that's when TNC look to make things happen. Because right now they just can't, Toby. The only Blink they have is Enigma. That's not enough. He cannot play that aggressively. Because the moment he exposes himself, you can Winter's Curse him. You can set up, you can all in. You don't need to save that big cooldown to interrupt Black Hole if you're initiating on the guy you're worried about.
Trying to find a target towards Dream, force off him in so they get the quick silence with the Mana Style. They'll get a break free and run away. That's an interesting way to initiate.
It's like, you gotta get creative, right? You don't have catch.
And you actually see the way Gabby has to itemize for a Blink Nullifier. Like, this is the way they think they can fight, but that's going to take so long to farm up. And in that time, Gambit, they already start up on Roshan. March is moving over. It's like, I have one Tombstone. Do I have a team? But you need to build up some intel onto Armel before this fight can really begin. Mirana's coming in nice and close for this. The arrow flies forward. Roshan's already down 3k HP. Undying. Defensive imprisonment is up, but that means there's no soul rip to stop the tombstones from being picked off. The boat connects over a mast. He'll soul rip himself some life, but not enough. Then KP, he's just walking around in no man's land. He's wondering, what am I meant to be hitting?
There's nothing you can do. Like, FNG's just standing on the high ground.
Nice Stalker.
You can't get on top of him.
Up to the hillside. Here comes the OD. Still trying to build up more. He can't get that from a ranged up lifesteal, however. The arrow flies forward. All right, Roshan, sit on the rune. Just stay. Stay, boy. Back around the pip. This is wasting the Dark Ascension time of the Night Stalker. That information moment. But TNC still don't feel like the strongest ones in this fight. Lightstriker raised off to mark, but okay, maybe with a hammer being dropped down in the black hole, but no! Instantly cancels off Yule Center up towards the air. Kunk will have to bite back. So does the Winter Wyvern. They still want to fight. This is OD's BKB starting to wear off. Lina got some space to get away. Arrow flies forward. Who's going to catch this one? No one! Everybody misses. While Dream continues to fight. Doesn't have really a lot of mana to work with. And surrounded by 5 heroes. X marks the spot. We're going on the Legion Commander, which means we're not going on anything.
That was really cool from TNC. They just all in with the initiation, dropping everything, popping BKBs, hammer, black hole.
Got 2 kills out of it.
But now
And
the cooldowns are
buybacks.
down. So Gambit, perhaps, yep, you just walk straight back into the pit. You've got mana back on the Lifestealer. You know you're not really threatened any longer.
Arch has the Tombstone available, but the Lena's doing a lot of damage. OD has 48 stolen in, but hits the instant Light Strike array on him. Armel freed up by the press the attack for the Torrent, still canceling this fight off the Tombstones in the middle of Roshan. A great position for TNC. If we wait long enough, maybe these cooldowns will come off. The Torrent's cleaning up the conversions. Roshan can't clean up enough to get to the Tombstone. It's like, just get off me. But the Tombstone timer will run out in 3 seconds. Dream still looking to fight.
They're just staying.
Hey, Lena,
dare you cross the river.
Lena is left. She's actually gone to the top lane, but Lifestealer inside the pit gets bashed up by Roshan. Now runs out under the cover of Rage. Armel looks towards Roshan too, clamps down with the conversions coming in close. And Light Strike, actually that Dragon Slave, which is a little bit too far away to kill off those Eidolons. But everyone's back. Arrow flies once again, missing all. There's a lot of different targets. It's just a full standoff outside of Roshan. Dream comes in. Armel slowed up by the open wounds. Instantly freed by press the attack. Dream still looking for a new target. Can't find one, but the X marks spot defensive imprisonment. OD instantly disengaging. A blink forward from Enigma and into the back lines. Gabby looking for the big target. He becomes a new focus. BKB up GPK. He gets dueled as well. So they're isolating out the big core. Is there support? The arrow flies in. Stunning on the Undying. KP can't get the duel victory to Light Strike Array. And GPK able to stand with Dream. Armel as well. Have they got enough? The leader finally is going to be brought down. Armel has got so much in, but he can't do enough damage out. It's just the rage. It's the rage up Lifestealer trying to fight, but maybe they have enough. More buybacks coming from the Mirana. TNC, they smoke up. It feels like they're disengaging. Remember what we're fighting for here. We're fighting for Roshan, and he's still injured.
TNC, they finally have that ability to get in there, and you can see they recognize the strength of their draft. They're also tanky. You got to just get inside of Gambit's lines and just punch. It's I don't know, there's no real there's no elegance to these engagements. Both sides just kind of punching each other in the face, hoping they come out on top.
And I'm waiting for Odie to go for this jump. Roshan will go the way of Gambit, and we can watch this fight once again. In the lifetime, it will be Roshan taken, so nothing else on that front. But isolating up the Lena, I really thought they were going to get the kill here.
That was so cool from Dream. You saw that? He pops the open wounds onto the LC, so that entire duel, the Lena's healing himself. He's able to get the kill. Of course, does go down to Armel's BKB, but watch these durations. Lifestealer's Rage obviously has no decreasing time as he continues to use it. These BKBs do for TNC. It'll get harder for them to commit that much to an engagement as this game continues, but you will have a BKB on Enigma very soon. So long as they're able to find the Wyvern, that is an uninterruptible black hole. That could potentially swing things around if you could just find the Lena.
FNG doesn't have the money for the Blink Dagger, so he can't just play that very far back position that he would like to do.
There it is. Right choice to buy it out here. He's got black hole ready. Buyback, not really useful. It's all about getting off a black hole. Armel gonna have Shivas soon. In fact, just a recipe away. I really appreciate that TNC. They're just spending their gold. You don't want to save buyback here. You have damage issues. It's so difficult to take fights against Gambit's lineup. And you have to kill things on the duration of your BKBs. All heroes need to itemize to ensure that they can maximize their deeps.
And
that window.
Gambit are really hunting for that kill too. Like, they want to have the fight. They Moonlight Shadow. They're looking through the bottom part of the map. No one reveals themselves.
Trying to think.
Oh, that's a nice item to also arrive. Armel, he needed that Shiva's guard, especially after the AC was picked.
I like this Gambit, or GPK rather. This is the real carry Lena build. You go for the Hurricane Pike at a point. So effective here. You can force away from the Night Stalker's silence. Perhaps you pre-click on the LC, he can't get the duel off. And more importantly, you have this range advantage now on the OD. And in addition, you can outrange the fight in general. You can kite the black hole. You don't need to be up close and personal. And then you're, of course, your level 25 talent for 175 attack range. All of a sudden, you turn into Sniper. Definitely the right build here. Dream going for the AC, just trying to increase the amount of physical damage. Part of the reason GPK is going for that same style. And Shacklow, of course, the team fighter. Pipe, Vlad's, soon to finish a Solar Crest.
Radiant are scared.
Both offlaners really with the same idea, playing the exact same hero in a sense. But KP also doing a good job. You can bait the stuns now. Armel doesn't have to pop the BKB. You can tank an arrow. Doesn't matter. There's always that a moment of courage there. Or rather, press the attack so that you can continue doing just that.
Just to free up your cores and then make it so Gambit don't get the target choice they want to get.
Yep.
Oh, more arrows to be thrown out. -5 seconds on the cooldown. Talent. Gambit still itching for something, but they're not finding anything, really. Like, Lifestealer still has this Aegis Immortal. He still wants to try and fight.
Yeah. And you do, of course, have both cores on Gambit, 1 and 2 in the net worth, but TNC are running more of this 4-core style. Soon KP might even catch the Kunkka. Then they'd have the 3 through 6 positions. March, safe and secure in his usual spot. Lowest level as well, but this is his style, right?
It's like
he's a sacrificial lamb.
His usual spot is to be at home. Like, it's going to be under the tier 3 towers. Just stay away from me. Oh, Wyvern found his target, Tims. Blinks away quickly. Gabby was nearby. GPK. He actually goes all the way home for this. He can BT himself out. It's just so he can get the Hurricane Pike onto him. Not waste the time of the Courier.
I like how he's just maintaining the stacks too. This is so cool. Just always farming. Just such a slow game. It's surprising, right? This tournament, the name of the game's been aggression this whole time. Even with Alchemist being picked, it's still looking to end games in 20 minutes. These teams.
You asked for the Naga. You asked for it, Kyle. You got what you wanted.
I got what I deserved.
So Dream's building in for this Orchid. They're going to get a lot of crit damage arriving. If they can just isolate a target, but now Rage up from Dream, going up the high ground over towards OD. Still has Shivas. He doesn't do a lot of damage, not when you're getting through 2.8k HP. X marks the spot. It's going to be defensive imprisonment. The Torrent sends him up. There's no boat following. It's just press the attack, freeing them, while you've got the hunting on the back lines. Gabby searching for a target. They dropped sentry wards too. Whoa. See this Moonlight Shadow move, but Gabby, that TP, not where he wanted to be. The Radiant Orbs were removed just behind the tree, but didn't see him go any further. So the Light Strike array from GPK hits perfectly. And that's a window of opportunity. Even if it's not to take a rack, it's to force a buyback on the NS.
Huge play. All about the warding, right?
And what big abilities did you even pop? Nothing. Curse is up, Ship is up, Laguna is up. They're already low cooldowns as it is.
Aegis is about to fade, however, but the Orchid just got here for the Lifestealer. He suddenly has an ability to find kills himself, perhaps, specifically onto the supports. Because if you're KP, you can't afford to cleanse that off of, say, March. You need to be willing and able to save Armel.
To say, like, what happens if he gets put on KP himself? He's like, okay, is anyone able to protect me? Lifestealer just rages up. They get the fortification out. Still 26 seconds till Night Stalker is up. They will not want to force a buyback here, as in TNC do not want to have to use it. Here comes Dream once again. Your Scepter up in the air. OD will hit the deck. Light Strike Array, boat combination, looking for the arrow. The Hex is up with a Luna Blade. They're doing a lot of damage. Still fighting underneath Tombstone. It's not what Gambit want. 8 seconds until Night Stalker is up. The ship's too early thanks to defensive imprisonment from the OD. And keep in mind, he's picked up 0 int from the start of this fight, because the only option he's ever had is Lifestealer.
He's just getting solar crested constantly too, doing so much damage. And they're whittling away. You know, no Aegis, so you can't be too offensive here. TNC have definitely demonstrated a willingness to just go in the engagement, and you respect the BKB Black Hole. You've got to be so perfect as FNG here. And you can just see he's under the ward. Nice stun from GPK, arrow follow up. We can slow-mo it. So you can really see Gabby considering that, damn, I messed up.
Like all great Batman moments, they're done in slow motion. So we go back to status quo once again. 37 minutes in, Lina starts doing the side lane push. Do you actually think, we also see like just that mass attack range. She's building in for Satanic. And GPK becomes the sniper we all wanted in this game.
Oh yeah, status resist and survivability, right? You know you're gonna get dueled by KP. That's his one real responsibility here. Lifestealer, not the guy you want to go toe-to-toe with. Let the OD deal with him, let the Enigma deal with him.
They're coming with 4. They didn't smoke in range of a Dire Obs. They're even going to Moonlight Shadow. They really want this kill on Armel, but the distance to close, it's a long way, but Mirana could just force staff and get the Hex off. Armel has BKB, and there it is, force staff into the Hex. Not even that, just a leap into it with a fall of arrow. Legion Commander cannot press the attack. She's orchid it up. It was the control arrived from Dream, but they haven't got what they were looking for. Now the retreat will start to come, but the X-Mark spot pulling back the OD. Gabby, he's surrounding in 5 heroes with his BKB, focusing down FNG. He wants to make sure this curse doesn't exist, but FNG is able to survive, and now TNC have to decide if this is the fight they're looking for. They drop the Tombstone, but what does Gambit do? They move back out of range, continuously kiting, continuously moving.
You can see it's very important that they get a fight on their terms. It's too many units for them to close the gap. So in theory, sure, you could have blinked forwards with Tims, you could have hurricane piked, but they need to engage where their mobility items get them in the middle of TNC's lineup. You can't be in a position where FNG has found that space. You've got to be on top of him with his allies nearby. And also, X-Vampire, man, what a heads-up play to go for the Hex. He's not even 10k net worth, but he has this huge item that allows them to actually push for kills without having to blow any big abilities. It makes it way more difficult for TNC because you're not actually expending anything as Gambit to try and threaten these heroes.
Gambit have to feel so confident. There's an Observer Ward Sentry combination on the hillside that TNC continuously run under. They may feel like this hill belongs to them because they have their own obs up there, but you've already got the Light Striker Ray Undying being forced out of this fight so early on. The hits from GPK able to connect, while then Legion Commander, he's the next target. Hexed up a little bit further away from the Shrine, and Dream are just beating the crap out of KP, putting that line for the test. They pull him back with the X mark to spot. 2 heroes down without buyback available.
So well done. You can see Armel in that fight. He BKBs, goes straight for GPK, and then he's like, wait, what? Looks left, looks right. There's a Lifestealer raged, Alina with BKB. You're an OD, you don't do any damage. She had no choice but to just turn tail and run out of the fight.
And now they take the tier 3 tower. They'll take the bottom lane of Rax, potentially stopping there to start cleaning up shrines. Think about the next Roshan. He will respawn in just over 20 seconds. And it looks like Dream still feels confident enough. He moves to the tier 3 tower in mid.
Yep.
Gabby is hovering around the back, still 26 seconds till KP is up.
Look at the range on Lina. You're a sniper. You're attacking from outside of the base. So easy to position now.
And the Satanic just arrived on the courier too, so she's got all the sustain she needs. The melee Rax is gone. Arrows fly forward. Odie almost clipping that one, but they use the Moonlight Shadow to back up. And that's a huge push from Gambit. 40 minutes in, they cripple TNC's defense.
It's 2 games now, TNC win decisively when they're the aggressors. And this seems like the second game where, what were the actions they actually took here? They tried to defend Roche, they tried to defend their high ground. They're not actually making moves themselves. They don't have any true initiators. You know, the blink just now picked up on KP. It's 41 minutes in.
And a double damage rune, and Dream's right in front of the pit. This will be a fast Roshan. They're trying to come out TNC. There's 4 of them together moving through the jungle, and they give the double damage rune to the Lina, the level 25 insane range sniper. Arrow flies forward, won't connect on anyone. Shiva's gun's already out, and you can see Dream is like, hey, you want to have a fight? Let's have a fight.
Plus 2 seconds of the rage duration. He at level 25. No one on Dire is there yet. Big advantage right now for Gambit. They've got a big window.
They still want to use this double damage rune to try and take Roshan, but if they drop it low and they lose the fight, giving it to TNC, it gives TNC a way back into this. So what do? They smoke up. They move to the high ground. No one's covering it. They use the Lifesteal Illusion to check out, and with the Hex leap forward, Night Stalker will die so quickly. Dead for a minute and a half, and they want more, and they'll find it much. Man, Yamato can GPK.
Get peeped. And he goes straight into the pit. This is an easy kill. Only the second Roshan, 42 minutes in. I wonder if you give this one to the Lina. I don't think you have to, actually, because with Aegis, Dream now can effectively dive tier 4s. GPK can shred buildings from outside the base, and yeah, that's exactly what they look to do.
And you cry for efficiency. His Hand of Midas is in the backpack. Oh, we no longer cry. He's switching it into inventory. Money makes the world go round, and another double damage rune for GPK, and he instantly TPs towards the mid lane. They're ready to fight. They just need the initiation. They just need a stun, or they just need to attack and miss every single hit uphill. That'll also work for GPK. Hexed up, Armel, building up the int. He's okay with this. This just helps his Eclipse be ready to pop.
Dire's top shrine is
Aiden, every little bit counts right now if you're TNC.
Lina, you can take out the shrine. Like I said, back to the wave.
And 1 more Rax.
The creep wave in mid's not close enough, not unless the leap forward. They can keep the range creep up. Yeah, and bottom's doing its work. Fortification already out. Hex once again starting over on the Lina. OD broken free by press the attack.
And you're gonna have to reset on GPK.
And I love this item pickup from FNG. He gets the Aeon Disc. Even if Night Stalker can get into the back lines and cause some problems for FNG, he has to get through both Ghost Scepter as well as Aeon Disc to stop that curse.
Yep.
Which means Enigma is still a non-factor. Have we even seen a Blink BKB Black Hole?
We saw one without the BKB around that Roche pit. Those heroes immediately bought back, and then Gambit got the Roche.
He got denied by a Yule Scepter when he did that too, so And I'm loving this Obs position. They see so much. Night Stalker almost walks into it. The Obs and Sentry, which is down from TNC, is too far away. Hex, Live Stealer walks forward. They'll push him away, but the Light Strike Array connects. Broken free, and now the secondary Hex over towards the OD, allowing Dream to re-engage. Looking for the target. Remember, he's got the Aegis Immortal. He doesn't care if he dies, but they want to wait out the Tombstone of March. Easy disengage, and with the BKB down, maybe even the Light Strike Array, but no! There's your black hole from Tims! He found the target! Gabby needs to get the damage out, but GPK just ripping him apart from the sideline. It's a good hammer drop, but Dream and GPK, the two biggest damage dealers, still on the front lines. Gabby's BKB will also wear off. GPK's actually managed to hit the Light Strike Array. They break it free with press the attack. The ship, he'll fly back in again. That's problems. If Live Stealer can now get out, yes he can. He open wounds after breaking free with the Mana Style, focusing down this OD. He must either force stuff away. Armel lives on 200 HP. Dream just can't catch a kill. Not the one he wants. Undying will die. KP will be the next prize. Pulled back into the torrent, dead for 70 seconds. But OD still looking to fight. They buy back an Undying. You got prepped intel, 24 of it. Where's the Hex? Where's the control? OD just props the Shiva's Guard. Dream already burning that rage, but it lasts so damn long that Armel just can't fight through this one. They want that last bit of damage. Armel's soul ripped up, and he gets back into the fountain. He'll end up surviving for now. The top lane of Rax have been taken. Only the range Rax pulls them back. Oh, March! Too much damage. There's a good AoE stun. Have they got a little bit more? The Hex on OD. He doesn't have any damage. They're underneath the fountain. Armel will be killed off, buying back into the game, but he doesn't have any of that intel. He'll BKB, looking for his own fight, but the Ghost Scepter's thinking so he can't attack anything. Gambit are sending a message to TNC. We'll farm you as well under your fountain. And the arrow, perfect connection on the OD. He's dead, and with it, the game, an ultra kill for GBK. He's gone nuts. So do Gambit, pushing this into a final, deciding 5th game.
Unbelievable. Just clinical. Once again, Gambit, they get a mid-game lead. They have the kill potential. They don't make mistakes. They get Roche, they get towers, they get tier 3 shrines. Continue.